again. And this morning, Dr. Kang has given us a short introduction about the different sessions that we will have this morning. If you look at the board, we have session 1, Introduction, Leveling Up of Our Understanding. We have session 2, Revisiting the Forest. Session 3, Drivers and Effects of Biodiversity Loss and Forest Degradation. And for session 4, that will be a presentation of the different approaches applied by the different ASEAN member states. And session 5, we will know more about FOCO and also about COICA programs. So that will be our program for today. If you look at our temperature check, because when we introduced each other earlier, we are all foresters, we are lecturers, and we all know about our forests. Our level of understanding generally is very high, and also we are all interested to learn more. And even if it is 5-5, I think because we belong to different countries, we want to hear experiences and also some approaches that the other countries are using in their guide. So we will have that opportunity later in the afternoon. For today, we will have a little review of our anything about the forest. But before we go straight to our main session on forest, its biodiversity, resources, and ecosystems, we would like to have some games. It's not really a game, but maybe just to remember what you saw in the forest. Each table will represent one group, and each group will write something about forest biodiversity. One letter, maybe you can write one word or one sentence or whatever you like. So you write for F, maybe you write flowers. For O, whatever. The first group that can finish will have a prize. So all, we will start at the same time. Yeah. So, give a pen to pen. So, you want to join? You join here. Okay. Okay. You can put a word or a group of words. Yeah. But it should refer or related to forest. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, start. You write in black letters so that others will see later. You can put the biodiversity resources or you can put something in there.
Fantastic.
One word or one sentence. But you have to work fast because the first one you will submit completely
Variety. Only female. In breeding, I do. The diversity observed.
오늘 플라이어들이 다 같이.
Ano ma'am? Para hindi tatan.
멀지 않을 거예요.
Eco restoration.
Okay, 2 minutes more.
원래 이제 아니 잘하네. 옛날에 필리핀 사람들 잘해. 솔직히 이거 한 단어로 하는데 저게 무식하게 못 알아듣고 어떻게 하는 거야.
Ecosystem restoration team. The second one.
One star.
1 minute more.
이거를 다 붙일 데가 없을 것 같아요.
Okay, time's up. Time's up.
칠판이니까 저 뒤에 칠판 가져올까? 칠판? 아 이건 뭐 어차피 덮어 야 정화 여기 덮으면 되겠다. 아 정화 나중에 머리를 써가지고 반을 접어버렸어.
Okay. We have 3 complete forms in here. We have the first will be the ecosystems restoration team. The second is the 1 star, and the other one, the third group. Will you please?
What's the name?
What's your name? Please
What's
give
your
your
name?
name.
Without name.
Okay. We would like to request Group 1 or the restoration team to explain why you put all those terms. Okay. Yeah.
전부 다 교수들한테 시키는 것 같아.
Explain why you put them. Yeah, this works. Yeah.
Hello.
Can you see? Can you
What
see?
I did was to write only the letters and the words came from the group. Okay, so when we talk of biodiversity, of course, we cannot do away with the flora, isn't it? So a lot of plants and animals we consider in biodiversity. And one of the flora that we can specify would be the orchids. Okay? Orchids are very nice flowers. And of course, within the forest ecosystem, you find there the river, of course, which contributes so much to the maintenance of the biodiversity. And then we also have ecosystems. When we talk of biodiversity, we talk of the ecosystem, the biotic and the abiotic factors in the ecosystem. Of course, we cannot leave out the trees. No? When we talk of biodiversity, a system, okay. A system. We talk of a system, what as a. When we talk of a system, it's actually it's a concept. It's a concept which talks about that a system is composed of different interacting factors, and if one factor in the ecosystem is not working, the other factors will be affected. That's the concept of a system. And of course, birds. Okay, birds are important component of the faunal characteristics of biodiversity. And of course also insects, orioles are very specific example of birds. And then of course we say diversity. When we talk of biodiversity, we talk of the diversity in terms of the plants and the animals. And then I is for inbreeding. Of course, this is a genetic term we encounter when we talk about species improvement or and then we have variety. Okay, we talk of variety of plants, animals, etc. And environment. Of course, environment refers to the totality, totality of the physical and the biophysical and the social factors that where biodiversity works. And then reptiles are specific examples of fauna. Part of the physical characteristics in the forest would be the stones and the soil. And then we also have examples of invertebrate fauna. And T is for total system approach. I think this is an important approach when we want to maintain biodiversity in an ecosystem. And of course, when we talk of the floral and the faunal component, we talk about the yield, particularly for the trees. So that's what we think of biodiversity.
Thank you, Jopay. Any comments from the other groups? Are all these terms found inside the forest? Just like inbreeding, you have inbreeding.
Yes.
How about the other groups? Okay? No comment? Okay. Yeah. Anyway, the group will be able to just defend.
There is a concept called as inbreeding depression. It's already a sign that our forests are shrinking and that we don't have enough space for the animals to move to their territories. It's not a good sign. I mean, inbreeding, if you look at diversity, we have so many things to that we don't know. Inbreeding is the human-imposed condition on the biome, So it's not natural. It does not happen in a normal condition. Inbreeding will happen if something is terribly wrong with your landscape conservation planning and also the situation of the protected area.
Any counter, Doctor?
You see, by the nature they're working on, work that we always deal with, they're dealing with very bad fragmented forests and reduced forests and degraded in some way. So we have a worry. Basically, you see the geneticists, they're looking at things on a lot of things they're looking. Basically, you want to quantify on genetics. Then you have the environment consequences that mounted in that final space. So you like it or not, this is the work that, as far as we are concerned, because we actually have a whole scope here we are working on restoration, reclamation, restoration, rehabilitation, restoration. So we are not working on that ideal ecosystem, but then we can see within the natural landscape of Asian or in everywhere.
No, but even basic understanding has to be there.
That's right.
What's wrong and what's right? We are just discussing what is. It's very basic.
That's right.
What the forest, normal forest has.
For a pristine forest, inbreeding very little to happen. But then if the temperature change, something will happen. Because some of the things that, for instance, the things that depend on the pollinators,
that is
that's reduced happen.
Inbreeding does happen, but it is mostly
That's right.
what we are working today. Today on is inbreeding depression of mammals. On smaller mammals, you can have, or rather say animals, you will not know whether it has happened because inbreeding or because that is a very complex concept anyway. Thank you.
That's right. Thank you. And thank you for that talk.
That's a very good interaction. Yeah. So can I call on group 2, the 1 star, to explain their work also. 1 star.
Okay.
Could you first explain why you call your group 1 star?
I think this is a Southeast Asian concept. I don't know. I don't understand what it's star.
He said it starts.
Basically we are star and he said that we can be 1 star. Okay. Coming back to the I think what we have mentioned with respect to forest and diversity. In general, what I have to say and I have to mention here that whatever we think about forests or biodiversity is inherently linked to our interests in those ecosystems or biomes. For example, whatever has been written for F is fuel wood, then forest obviously. But again, something that we gain or stand to gain from nature as a service. So most of the things like timber, energy, rivers, these are all ecosystem services, and that is very easier to understand. We have been struggling to understand what biodiversity means for us and what biodiversity is. I have mentioned something called invertebrates or I, because most of the work that has been done for last 40, 60, 100 years has been done on vertebrates. There is very little awareness and understanding of how invertebrates function, what is their role in the ecosystem, what is their role in evolution. So that is why I have mentioned that ibex is one of the endangered species. That is why ibex has been mentioned. Then insects, obviously again, we have mentioned. And we as a group, since you have mentioned that the first who will complete this first will get prize. So we completed this in a lot of hurry. I mean, this particular concept, we really mentioned something according to the alphabets. There is so much to write. You mentioned, there is at least 2 times there is, we have not mentioned birds because we missed out on that. Maybe because we were looking at, as I mentioned earlier, we have started looking at all these things in terms of what we gain from the nature in terms of ecosystem services, maybe pollination, maybe air, maybe rivers. So in short, this is it is a reflection of our understanding of nature. Thank you.
Okay. Any comment for group 2? May I call on group 3?
The diversity group. Diversity.
Diversity? Okay.
Thank you very much. I think what has been said before with other groups, that in general we didn't call on any name in our group, but lastly we decided to call it diversity because the nature of forest normally will have a lot of big diversity, and diversity forest actually can support big diversity, so that is why we call this name.